look at Sheila Rae the Brave. And as we're thinking, as you're reading, I want you to be thinking, how might I be like Sheila? Or how might something in this story be something that has happened in my life so that I can understand what the characters might be feeling? So let's take a look at Sheila Rae the Brave. Sheila Rae wasn't afraid of anything. She wasn't afraid of the dark. She wasn't afraid of thunder and lightning. And she wasn't afraid of the big black dog at the end of the block. At dinner, Sheila Rae made believe that the cherries in her fruit cocktail were the eyes of dead bears, and she ate 5 of them. At school, Sheila Rae giggled when the principal walked by. And when her classmate Wendell stole her jump rope during recess, Sheila Rae tied him up until the bell rang. "I am very brave," said Sheila Rae, patting herself on the back. Oh, Sheila Rae stepped on every crack in the sidewalk without fear. When her sister Louise said there was a monster in the closet, Sheila Rae attacked it. And she rode her bicycle no-handed with her eyes closed. "Yay, yay, Sheila Rae!" her friends yelled, clapping their hands. Okay, time out for a minute. I know that we are going to be working on text-to-self connections, but I feel like this might be a good time to go back and talk about a prediction. Do you remember a prediction? A guess for what we think might happen? Does anybody have a guess? Because I have a guess. Do you have a guess, or do you want me to share mine? Oh, no, I have some friends who have their hands raised. Carver? See, Carver, you and I are thinking the same thing. So far, she's not afraid of anything, but I just have a feeling that soon we're going to find the thing that Sheila Rae is afraid of. Do you have any guesses what you think Sheila Rae might be afraid of? It's not spiders, it's not lightning, it's not crazy tricks. Max, what do you think she might be afraid of? Falling off her bike. Carver, what do you think? A falling building. Remy, what do you think?
I think I'm scared of a poisonous bee.
A poisonous bee. Bryn, a ghost. Oh my goodness. Tania, what do you think? Okay, let's see.
This was on the news, guys. An airplane crashed into a really tall building and the building fell. Just by storm, making tons.
All right, I think, okay, we're back on. Okay, so let's see if we find the thing that Sheila Rae might be afraid of. One day, Sheila Rae decided to walk home from school a new way. Louise was afraid too. "You're too brave for me," Louise said. "You're always such a scaredy cat," Sheila Rae called. "Am not," whispered Louise. Sheila Rae. Oh, you're going to have to wonder what Sheila Rae did. There we go. Sheila Rae started off skipping. "I am stepped on every crack. She walked backwards with her eyes closed.
I can do that.
She growled at stray dogs and bared her teeth at stray cats. And she pretended that the trees were evil creatures. She climbed up them and broke their fingers off. Snap, snap, snap. Sheila Rae walked and walked. She turned corners. She crossed streets. And it suddenly occurred to Sheila Rae that nothing looked familiar. Sheila Rae heard frightening noises. They sounded worse than thunder. She thought horrible thoughts. They were worse than anything she had ever imagined. I am brave, Sheila Rae tried to convince herself. I am fearless.
You're not.
But the sounds became more frightening. The thoughts became more horrible. Sheila Rae sat down on a rock and cried. Help! She sniffed. She thought of her mother and her father and Louise. Mother! Father! Louise! She cried.
Oh, you're so scared.
Here I am, a voice said. Louise! Sheila Rae hugged her sister. We're lost, Sheila Rae said. No, we're not, said Louise. I know the way home. Follow me. Now Louise stepped on every crack. She walked backwards with her eyes closed. She growled at stray dogs and bared her teeth at stray cats.
Strange cats?
Stray. And she pretended that the trees were evil creatures. She jumped up and snapped their fingers off. Snap, snap, snap. Sheila Rae walked quietly behind her. They walked and walked. They crossed streets. They turned corners. And soon their house could be seen between the trees. Sheila Rae grabbed Louise and dashed up the street. When they reached their own yard and the gate was closed behind them, Sheila Rae said, Louise, you are brave. You are fearless. We both are, said Louise, and they walked backwards into the house with their eyes closed. Alrighty, so as we heard in the story, Carver, I think our prediction was correct. We did find out that Sheila Rae was afraid of something. She was afraid of getting lost, right? Or when she didn't know where she was. So I had linked a couple of thoughts during this story as we were reading. Number one, I was thinking about things of maybe that I get a little worried or nervous about. But I was also thinking about somebody in my life. Do you know who I was thinking about? No, who kind of saved the day in this story? Her sister. And do you know that I have a sister? Megan. So this really made me think not only about things that I might be a little bit nervous about, but it also made me think about how Sheila Rae and her sister Louise came together to be brave together. And it made me think about how my sister Megan and I have gotten through things together too. Did you have any thoughts while you were listening to this story? Did it make you think of anything you get a little nervous about? Or anybody who's helped make you feel brave? Oh, thank you for raising your hand.
Sit down, please.
Bryn, what were you thinking about?
When I was getting my shot, I
Oh.
wanted my bird to go first, but
Yes.
we both worked together and we did get her one bit.
Oh, I love that. Bryn said when she had to get her shot, and she did it with her brother, so even though they were both nervous, they kind of helped each other to be brave through it. That's an amazing text to self-connection, because you understand how Sheila Rae and Louise were feeling during that. Jens, what were you thinking about? Yes. So Jens had a similar connection to Bryn. He was nervous about getting his flu shot too, but when he got it, he found out it wasn't as bad as he thought it might be. Gwen, what are you thinking about? Yes, how are you feeling? Yes, so you got your shot with your sister? Yes, so you can help when you have a sister or a brother, you can kind of help each other through some worried times. Max, what were you thinking about? Yes, I think lots of us, I know especially lately, lots of us have gotten flu shots, right? And it's always a nervous time. But it sounds like our moms and our dads and our brothers and our sisters helped us get through there. So by having a special someone to help us, we kind of understand how Sheila Rae felt by having Louise. Louise helped her feel strong and brave, even when maybe she wasn't feeling that herself. All right?